one of the MVP of the Tri-Fi market in 2023. Simgot. Now we have the EW200, a follow-up IM to the EA500. Yes, it is quite similarly tuned to that with some improvement and some trade-off as well. Let's jump into it. Hello guys, it's Jordan from Jordan OK Review. Welcome back. Now today we have this EW200. Why not EA200? I'm not sure, but it's a follow-up to the Simgot famous EA500, and is, I would say, first off, it's good. Okay, it's good in a lot of way. That's why I call it the Simgot is one of the MVP of the year, because most of their releases that came out recently, EA500 being their first to the international market, and EW100P, I guess, and this EW200, all of them are quite good. Okay, are quite good, solidly built, and they have come up with their products very carefully. This is $40 US, half the price of the EA500, and it has a lot of similarities. So let's talk about the sound signature, the build, everything compared to the EA500, and I will be doing some comparison video at the end of the video. We talk about the FIO FD11, or you call it FD11, and some others like the 7Hz Zero and Cadenza from KVS as well. So let's jump into it. First off, the build quality. The build quality on this is good, as in this is in metal as well, but this is not as polished as the EA500. EA500 build is way above its price point. Okay, it's priced at $80 US, but the build quality on it will give you that feeling of IM that costs you $200. Okay, with the context of you looking at Moondrop IMs like the Kato is comparable, or to me, I think that it even felt nicer. Okay, because it was very well polished. This instead is in metal as well, but it is not that kind of polish. Okay, it's not polished until like the EA500, but then it's still very solidly built. Okay, but the downside is that this catches a lot of fingerprint, so you might need to wipe more if you like your things to be shiny, okay, and very reflective. Then you need to wipe this a lot, okay, because this catches a lot of fingerprint. And the cable on here is quite nice looking. Okay, it's not those very cheap looking rubbery cable that tangles. Okay, I have totally no issue, okay, with the cable. This, I think the color of the cable and the feel of the cable is, I would say, just nice. Okay, just nice. Okay, this is $40 US. Okay, so no complaint for the cable over here. So overall build quality, I would just give it a pass. Okay, it's quite nice looking. And not to forget, I really wanted to give a credit to the person that designed the packaging of Simgot IMs. Okay, like the EA500, you know that the packaging on the EA500 is wow. Okay, it's really a great wow from me, because it's very nice looking and very nicely thought of, very tastefully done. Instead of just popping the IM here with Simgot, okay, they designed it very nicely this time as well. So they designed a maze behind. Why maze? I'm not sure, but it's quite nice looking. Okay, it's quite nice looking. I think that the design is very well thought of. It gives you that very premium feeling. Like Simgot is not some ordinary budget Tri-Fi brand. It just gives you a little bit edge, okay, compared to the rest of the competitors. So good job, Simgot. Good job, especially in the designing of your packaging. So keep up the good work, and let's talk about the sound. Sound here, like I said, it is very similar to the EA500 with some improvement. Okay, improvement as well. Some of the things that I wish that have been done better. So first of all, this is with the context of the EA500, which is tuned very much like the Harman target. This has boosted sub bass, okay, which something that I find lacking on the EA500. EA500 don't have a lot of bass. Okay, although the bass there is quite speedy, but it don't give you a lot of rumble and punches over there. Here finally we have something that is more balanced out. Okay, a little bit more balanced out. This is, I have around roughly 4 to 5 dB of bass boost from the EA500. So it's I would say it's not that more bass equals better, but I think that to this tuning is more balanced. Okay, it's more balanced, and I welcome this very much. Okay, I like this very much. The bass boost is I would think that it's a good upgrade, okay, from the EA500. So some background story. Okay, EA500, because it's so popular, so many people gotten it, and a lot of them wish to have more bass. Some want to tweak the sound a little bit. They play around with their nozzle, they change nozzle, their stock nozzle. We have 2 choices of stock nozzle for them to choose, or a lot of people have also gotten the Moondrop nozzle as well for the Kato. So they have a lot of nozzle to play around with, and they also do tape mod. Okay, tape mod as in they put a tape next to the vent of the EA500 to boost up the bass with the trade-off of some openness in the sound. Here we don't need that. Okay, we don't need that. We don't need the tape mod. Okay, it already have that bass boost. So seems that Simgot has been watching the forums, has been listening to the feedbacks from the publics that people just prefer something with a little bit more bass. Okay, not too much, just a little. Okay, so the bass on here, I would say, is it very bassy? No, it's not. It's just that it's average. Okay, average compared to a lot of the other IEM out there with this price point that will have tuned this very V-shape. So this is, I would think that is not overly done. It's just nice. Okay, where else the EA500 is a little bit lean in bass. So the added bass on the EW200 give it a little bit more warmth. Okay, to the sound, to the overall sound itself, and this pair very good with the vocal. Okay, let's talk about the mids. Okay, the upper mids and the vocal on the IEM. This is very reminiscent to the 7Hz Zero. Okay, so if you all missed the story of the 7Hz Zero, 7Hz Zero is one of my top pick for $20 budget IEM, because it has that signature that I like very much. It might not be fair for everyone, but it's something that I like very much, where the vocal is forward. Okay, it's forward. So this has that. Okay, this has that. Same go to the EA500. They have a similar tuning where vocal come across very forward. You have a very good presence of female vocal especially. So this has that. Okay, and a lot of people might find the EA500 sometimes to be a little bit dry and might at the edge of being harsh. Okay, that's why Simgot has distributed a lot of the mesh. Okay, the mesh sticker for you to tame down that treble here. Okay, with the added sub bass. Okay, like I said, the sub bass, the added sub bass has compensated the amount of treble and the amount of upper mid range this has. So it's balanced out. It doesn't feel as peaky now. It doesn't feel, it's not at the edge of being sibilant or harsh anymore, because you have that bass to cover that up. So it's something that I prefer. That's why the added bass. Good job. Yeah, good job. So let's talk about some of the other things that this is not as good as the EA500, whereby EA500 is, I would say, in the overall tuning in vocal, in instruments, is a little bit more detailed. Okay, the detail retrieval on that, I felt that is better, because without that bass, sometimes you just interpret it as you have more detail, because you can hear things more clearly. But here, I think that it's just slightly a little bit fall behind from the EA500, but don't get me wrong, it's still good. Okay, it's still good, still at the price that it should be, $40. So what do you expect from a $40 price point? Detail retrieval is there. Okay, is, I would say, average. So a little bit comparison with one of the sets that I find that have very good technicalities, which is the Hertz Sound mirror, hard mirror 0. Oh my, it's very mouthful of it. So that one I think don't have a lot of bass, but have the best technicalities out of the bunch, and it's around $40 as well. This of course, okay, is not as technical as that, but I think that with added bass and that forward vocal, this is quite musical to listen to. For musical instrument enjoyment, this is no sludge, okay, no sludge. And the staging wise, I still think that EA500 edges this out a little bit. So I would think that if you blind test it, both EW200 and the EA500, I don't think that both of them loses out a lot, okay. At least don't look at the price, okay, $40 and $80. You might think that there might be a lot of differences, but I think that differences are very minor, okay. If it's a price point of $60 vs that $80, I think that is good enough, okay. It's still good enough. The EW200 still have its ground to stand on. So let's talk about other comparison. I've recently gotten the FIO F11, or you call it the FIO FD11 if you know how the naming scheme going on. So that one is different with this, okay, it's different. That is an IEM that have quite a lot of bass, okay. That one focuses on bass a lot, like usual FIO IEM that have a lot of bass. So mid bass, especially the mid bass on the FD11 is, I guess, around like double the quantity of this, at least, because that one is quite thick sounding, okay, quite thick sounding. It might be fun for those of you who like bass. You might think that the FD11 might be a little bit more fun, but for you guys who like vocal or who like something more balanced, this is the one to go for, okay. If you like something bassier and laid back in the vocal region, you can take the FD11. But in terms of detail retrieval, okay, that is something that I find very lacking on the FD11, okay. This has better, okay, it has the better detail retrieval compared to that. So depends on your library, okay, depends on your library which one that would you prefer. So next, let's do some comparison with one of my top pick in the $20 price point. Why do I do this? Because I just find that there are a lot of similarities, okay, going on with these two IEM, that if you let me blind test it, I might get it right, okay, but if you give it to some other people that never tried them before, they might think that this is the same IEM, I guess, some sort of, yeah. So 7 Hertz 0, yeah, 7 Hertz 0, tuning wise, okay, tuning wise is quite similar, all right, have around the same amount of bass, okay, being that the bass over here, the quality wise is a little bit better, as in I can felt the presence a little bit more over here. That 7 Hertz 0, because of the fitting issue, is not very bassy to start with, okay, to me, because I'm not able to get the best seal on the 0. But in terms of vocal, okay, in terms of detail retrieval and everything, I felt it's the same, okay, it's the same tuning, okay, with a little bit more refinement, okay, a little bit more refinement. Think that this is the direct upgrade path from the 7 Hertz 0. If you like the 7 Hertz 0 and you wish to have a little bit more bass, slightly more refined bass, slightly more refined vocal, a little bit better detail retrieval, then this is the one to go for. And another IEM that shouldn't be missed out, I think a lot of you would ask, okay, these are very spicy questions. What about KVE's cadenza? Oh gosh, that is good, man. That is very good, undoubtedly very good. Just that one is in racing, this is in metal. That one is it's not as hot, okay, it's not as hot. I'm not saying that this is very hot. This is the Simgot house sound, this is a Simgot classic sound. That one don't have that harsh hotness in the treble area, but overall still very similar tuning as well. So we have, yeah, the tri-fi market nowadays are quite, I would say, although we have a lot of releases in always all the time, but I still think that a lot of IEM are tuned quite similarly, like the Kiwi Ears Cadenza. It was released around like last year. At first there was a lot of people that talking about it, but then it just slowed down a little bit. I wonder why, but that one is a very good IEM. If you want me to do a comparison, I would think that I would just give them the same place. Okay, I think they are equal. Okay, I think the cadenza also selling at the same price as well, so I think that is equally good in different way. Okay, in different way. I don't have it with me right now, but in my memory they are very close. At least is an IEM that I would use to listen to the same genre. So cadenza or this, pick one. Okay, you like the metal shell or you like the resin shell or the design on it. Okay, you will not be disappointed. Okay, if you like things like vocal, okay, like something like the tuning of Simgot, usual tuning of Simgot. So no worries. And Kiwi ears, what do you know? They don't miss. Yeah. So this is the impression that I have on the Simgot EW200. Is it an upgrade towards the EA500? Of course not. Okay, but I think that is a side grade. Okay, side grade with added bass. Okay, so if you have the EA500, okay, you want a little bit more bass, so do you wish to get this? Okay, actually no need. Okay, no need to get that. Just do a tape mod on the EA500. You can get something similar like this. Okay, and that one has an overall smoother and more detailed with better technicalities, so that's why no need to get one. Okay, but if you're coming from the path of the 700, then go ahead. Okay, spend this money. $40 is quite worth it, and then you can sell off your 700 maybe you can sell it for $10, so this you can get it for $30, so it's quite worth it. So that's all for the video today. Please like and subscribe. We have more things coming on soon, hopefully. So see you guys next week. Bye bye.